Hello. Right, I should have audio live now, and I'm going to take my headphones off. I'm just going to talk randomly for 20-30 seconds. Hopefully the stream will catch up, and can you let me know how my audio sounds? Is it too quiet? Shall I turn up the gain? Yes, no. Oh wow, you can see an awful lot on that camera. Do you want to stay anywhere other than there? That'll do. Right, oh, I think I have a caffeine delivery about to come through the door. I do!
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
There you go.
Have fun.
Have a fun live stream.
Will do. I'll see you in a bit.
Don't break it.
I'll try not to. Right, so that's my dose of caffeine now arrived. Here we go. Oh, there's so many different screens to look at. I keep forgetting where to look. I should be looking at that. That is my lens. Hello all. All two of you concurrently viewing this, I think, hopefully. Is anyone there? It's quite sundry. Yes, I have my pyramid of camera here. This gives me my lovely, where is it? Top-down view, and I've figured out that how to use hotkeys in OBS, so I can actually kind of quickly jump between things if I remember the right keystrokes. So hopefully this will be a bit of a higher production standard. Just to check, Tom, is the audio sounding all right? Am I loud enough, or am I quite quiet? Yes. Anyway, while I wait for Tom to get back on that, we're going to be tearing down this assault rifle. Oh, wait, hang on. This assault rifle, the Cyma Airsoft guns, by the way. All of these, and that one down there, and these are Airsoft guns, YouTube, not real firearms. But yes, we're going to be tearing down and looking at the guts of the Cyma CM009B, and I think the internals will apply to pretty much all of their Cyma 009 range, apart from I think the one without a letter suffix. Pretty sure that's an older design. Just going to pop that out. So yeah, this is the one. Just waiting to see if anyone else is going to join. Hopefully so. Right, I'm hoping by the fact that Tom hasn't typed anything that everything's fine. I'm seeing audio going out, so we might as well crack on with this. Which screen am I on this one? Right, let's go to... It's not the loudest, but if you put the gain up, you'll get a load of noise. Yeah, that's very true. Also, I'm talking over here on the mic. Is this fluffy thing down here? So hopefully when I'm working on the table, it's going to get louder because I'll be here in this area, indirecting this way. So, without further ado, let's switch to the table for you, and let's try and feed the M16 in here. Now, actually, I'm going to take this apart so I don't smash up everything. I'm just going to switch back to my other camera quickly. So, standard AR takedown. Let's push out the front pin, and then slide forwards. Sometimes it does help to have those bits away, and the only gripe on this one is because it's got the bolt catch. You need to push the bolt catch in to be able to get it apart, but you know, same as always, slides apart, and our hopper's decided to stay behind. Right, put that down. Don't need the upper for the time being, but here's the barrel out of it. I'll do some nice close-ups of that before we crack on with the rest of the teardown. So let's move the lower away, and let's have a look at this. So let's switch camera view, put that to one side. I've got my headphones here in case I need to check anything. I've got a couple of tools here. I've got a speed loader in case I want to test it on 2/8 in a bit. I've got some calipers in case any of you want to know some measurements of different bits, what bearing size, what bushing size, depending on what they're using. And then I've got my handy dandy toolkit that I bought off Amazon. So I'll just put these to one side. Let's have a quick look today. So, oh, did I share that in the right place? That is a good point. Did I share it into the wrong gunman? No, I shared it in the right one. Yes. Right, so toolbox here. Just quickly, because people have asked me about this, I bought this off Amazon. I checked; it's no longer available, but there are several toolkits like it. Just go on and look for like a PC repair toolkit. In fact, I will probably post a link on the Facebook page, on my Facebook page, about these types of toolkits because I find them invaluable. To one side. Let's just have a quick look and see what the hop-up rubber is in this. Turn it all the way off. It's quite nice to see that they've actually taken the time to glue down the I'm trying to think, pushback spring on the hop unit. The pressure spring, it makes sure that the hop unit is sitting snugly against the gearbox. Helps with air seal, which this gun apparently has in spades because it's got an M95 in it and it's chronoing about 380 FPS with admittedly no hop. So yeah, let's pop this apart quickly. Oh, they put a bit of is that Loctite or is that tape? I think it's probably a Loctite on there to try and hold that down. Put that down there, and then set that off. So again, metal hop unit, quite nice. And then just your standard nub in there. Hang on, I'll see if I can zoom in. What? Oh, that's very dark. Don't block all the light source. Luckily I have an additional light here for you guys. That is not going well. There you go, standard hop nub in there. So yeah, standard hop nub and standard hop rubber with grease. They've actually greased the outside of that. That's very nice. And I wonder how long this has been on this barrel because that's a very different colour to the rest of the barrel. But hey ho, that's nice. Hop up window isn't too bad on that. They've got a nice little chamfer on the front and back of that, which is very nice. Nice to see. The chamfer helps. If it's straight edge, it can be quite rough and help and damage your hop up rubber. But that's nice to see. That means your hop rubber is going to last a while. Ooh, that hop rubber says 06 on it. Hopefully that's not when it was made. But yeah, so nice standard hop rubber, standard brass barrel, brass spacer, very well fitted to the barrel. And I showed it off last time, but that has a turned recess into the end of the barrel, so you can put an O-ring on there to help stabilise it in your outer barrel. And it also has rather nice crowning on it, which should help with the stability of the BB leaving the barrel. Right, let me just chuck that back together so I don't lose any parts of that. Do that. It's about right. Oh, people are WhatsApping me. Should have probably put my phone on airplane mode. Whoops. And that's all together again, and there you go. Yeah, nice to see people actually greasing these parts to help with the air seal, which is really good. One thing I will say is this adjustment wheel seems quite loose, so maybe I'll put an O-ring or a washer on that screw to try and just help tension that up a bit. But I think it's definitely a usable hop up, that for sure. And it is a metal hop up unit, not. I thought it might be like metal coated plastic, but it's not. I did a scratch test in the previous video. You can see there, and it is in fact all metal, and you can clearly see kind of like cast marks on it. So it's not milled or anything, but it's still a very nice unit. That right. Let's put that to one side. Let's grab the bit we're all interested in, which is the lower. Now, you need to take the stock off because this is a quick change spring guide design. Although, one thing people have been wondering is this the same gearbox as the Orion? And hopefully, with a bit of magic, yes. Here we go. We can have a look. I've got an Orion gearbox stock image loaded up. I haven't handled Orion gearboxes myself. I haven't touched the Spectre arms myself, but we can see at the moment that there are some differences. So this has got an extra reinforcement kind of raised material here to just help. I mean that's the point where V2s break, really, isn't it? It's that area there, and they've added an extra bit of raised reinforcement there, which is very nice to see. Some other bits and pieces that I'm seeing that might be different is, I think the way, well, this whole area here looks a bit different. And hang on, I'll try and get them in the same orientation. I guess we can come back to this as well once the gearbox is out of the gun. But hopefully you can see that there looks to be a slightly more reinforced gearbox for sure. And yeah, just trying to see if I can notice anything distinctly different between them. No, I think that's the big one, that extra bit of reinforcement there. So anyway, let's crack on with the teardown. I'm gonna get my trusty old big screwdriver out, and I'm gonna change it over from this head to a flat. Thank you. One gripe with this toolbox is these heads are sometimes rather hard to get out. Side. I apologise if that was rather loud. That's right by the mic. And then let's change back cams. Let's take out the single screw that holds the stock on. Now, because I bought this for a UK retailer, they insisted on changing down the spring in it beforehand, before sending it out to me, because it was, I think it originally quoted about 440. So this has been apart before, and they did say to me that when they tried to take it apart, it was very hard to take off. So I think they had originally Loctited it, and in fact I am seeing on those threads between my two fingers there evidence of Loctiting, so that explains that. The stock pulls off and reveals that wire loom, which Mini-Tam is kind of the standard at the moment. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was Dean's or T-plug, as people know it, or even XT60s. But hey, that's what we're working with. These are lower price range guns, so you'd expect them to go for the kind of standard plugs on these. I mean, everyone in the dog supposedly has Mini-Tam, so hey ho. Although Mini-Tam is notorious for adding resistance, so that's quite a lot of resistance being added by that. So that's something I will change very soon. Right, and now that we've got the stock off, let's just take that off quickly. Put those both to one side. That's not going to stay on. I'll just drop it in the stock for the time being. This is our quick change spring guide, which is quite cool. So there are guns out there that say they are quick change spring guide, but you have to take the whole gearbox out of the gun to do it. I wouldn't really consider that quick change, but this one is actually quick change. So all you have to do is take the stock off, one screw, and then unscrew your spring guide, and out it comes. So my retailer put in an M95. This is an M95, the ASG blue ones, and even with that, this is doing quite a lot. As I was saying, 380 with no hop. Chronoed with 2.5 converted through, so I think it was about 315 with 2.5s. But yeah, that spring guide is lush. It's one solid piece of metal. By the looks at it, maybe two. Probably two, yeah, because that it's got bearings on it, so that'll have been put on, and then this top guide will have been screwed on. That is very nice to see. Does it affect how much compression it's putting on the spring? Ooh, maybe it does. The one that's tightened down, those are sitting there. We'll have to have a look, but I think that might be part of the reason it's getting a bit higher FPS, is that is slightly more compressed than a normal V2 spring guide. Which, okay, fair enough. Right, I'm going to leave this open now because the lid of this makes a great storage point for parts. Put those in there. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's taped. Where'd I put my knife? If you guys watching have any questions or anything you want to know, do pipe up. Although I don't know how many of you are watching, or if anyone's watching. Let's grab that off. Disconnect that. Right, there we go. So let's take the pistol grip off. So pistol grip, 2 crossheads. Let's jump on in there. No, come on. Really? Oh, there we go. Screw. Two screws. Not bad looking base plate there, although don't think the original M16s were made in China. You can haul out this motor. Okay, black running up the front, red up the back. Okay. It's got a bit of clicky to it, but that motor is definitely nothing special. Yeah, that's probably iron core. So that might be one route to upgrade. Obviously not yet. I'm going to play with it before I even consider upgrading it. Let's grab pistol grip off. Again, it's 2 crossheads down in the pistol grip. Oh, those are very tight. Let me just double check that. Yep, they are. Let's try a different head. Why there's so many screws in here? I really should clean my toolbox out. Anyway, could you check what size the bushing bearing holes are? Yes, I can, and I will. Yeah, let's go with that one. Well, that's not happened before. There's just all the magnetism gone from this. I think it has. Dear. I always forget how annoying V2s are with the fact that you have to take the motor out and then get in the motor grip and unscrew it. I much prefer the V3 style of motor cage and then attaching to the motor cage. There we go. So I was watching a live stream on Friday debating which is better in Airsoft, the AK or the AR, and one of the points raised was how quickly can you disassemble them. Now, I might try that myself, seeing as I have an AK and an AR, although this doesn't count as a a default spec because it's got the spring guide in the back, but I think that would be an interesting comparison to see which one I can take down faster. I'd say my experience between AKs and ARs are about the same in terms of tech work. Despite not really owning ARs myself, I have done a fair amount of work on AR rifles and know them pretty damn well. I say that, I'm now probably going to make a cock of myself and completely mess this up. So again, we're saying red at the back, black at the front. Oh. Another thing that annoys me, wires, running the wires. Right, got that out. So, push that pin out. We need to take the, or do we? That is a good question. Yeah, we do. Sometimes. Oh, that is a very strong retain. Oh, self-retained. That is very nice to see. That's very nice to see indeed. What next? Ah, yes. Mag release and bolt release need to come off. Mag release is standard. Bolt release less so. Most bolt releases aren't functional in Airsoft, so they can just stay while you're disassembling the rest of it. However, on this one, because it is a functional part, because you can lock your mock bolt open while you adjust the hop, which I think is a very nice feature, don't get me wrong, it does add to the complexity of the teardown. Only slightly, though. There we go. Let's put that back together. Help ourselves. Okay, and the parts staying together. So as you can see, as I push on the bolt release, this part moves up and down. That is our bolt catch. You can get your LCT AK apart much faster than your PAR. I completely agree. I think by now, if I'd been doing this with the AK, I would already have the gearbox out, if not started taking that gearbox apart. Seeing as it's 4 to 6 screws, depending on whether or not you have to take the mag spacer off on the E&L. Still, I can have a gearbox out of an L85 in less time than either of those, and with no tools. But that's neither here nor there in the AR-AK debate. So, just trying to get that. Yeah, oh, there we go. That pops off. Put that there. I'll probably put the pin back in the receiver. So yeah, that should help. And then finally, we have to push this pin out. Let me just find something that's not going to damage it too much. I can see the ridges are out on the left-hand side of the receiver, so we'll push on the right. We'll preferably do it in a way that's not going to A, damage the pin too much, and B, not pushing it against the table. There we go, take that out. And, yes, they've copied TM in that regard. Put spaces there, which is a good idea. Now we can just wobble that out, and there we go. There is the Cyma gearbox. There's our retaining pin. There. Right. Let me do this and then move my toolbox about. Put the stock up here. Yes. That there. Have another little look. So definitely using different gearbox. There's grease on the outside of the gearbox. Here. Definitely using a slightly different gearbox. I'll take that off as well. So we've got additional holes for this spring neck up here. This is our bolt catch, by the way. What else? Oh, we've got additional screw holes up here on this plate here. Trying to have a look, seeing if there's anything vastly different. Oh no, they both have this notch. This support up here does seem thicker as well. So yeah, I don't think they are the same gearbox. I don't think they're the same castings. I think the Cyma uses a different casting to the Orion. So cool. Interesting. So let's switch back. Sorry, I'm getting a bit distracted. One of the what is this? Oh, cut out a hole there. Now what is that for? Oh, sorry, I was leaning in front of the lens. My bad. I've not seen that before. Well, that looks like it could be something to do with the anti-reversal latch. One of the ideas that I'd had about this MOSFET ETU part was, can it do burst mode by, instead of coming back here to push the cut-off lever out of the way for full auto. I wondered if it was something to do with these exposed solder contacts on the board, but now I'm thinking that's not the case. Those look like very thick connectors for power, but we'll dive on into that in a minute. Let's flip it over. One of the lovely things about quick change spring guides is you don't have to worry about your spring tension when tearing it down, which is very nice to see. Very nice indeed, actually. That's very nice. I also like to see that the rear of this gearbox shell has cut out teeth and notches all the way around, so it could accept a different quick change spring guide. Say, for instance, if you put it into a different receiver that didn't accept your threaded spring guide. Which, by the way, reminds me, how far through does this sit? Went in, lines up with the back of that. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe that is pretty much standard distancing there. I'll put that to one side. Okay, so question to everyone in the audience: would you want me to tear this down now, or shall we have a quick look at the kind of quality of the receivers, and just have a look and see if we can see any kind of imperfections in the I'm assuming casting process for these. So I will give you a minute to decide, I guess. And yeah, while we're doing that, let's have a quick talk about my initial impressions on this, which are, I'm pretty amazed at the quality. There is a considerable amount of decent things to say about this gun for the price. I mean, I paid £180. I paid a bit more than I would have paid if I'd went through Gunfire, but helping out a UK store and hopefully showing them that there's interest in these and that there's enough interest to get a UK import going on these. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with the quality for the price I paid, and no doubt if you've watched my previous one, you'd have heard me dry fire the thing, and I think I fired it through the chrono on the last video. It's really not that bad performer on either the stock 9.6 or the 7.4 that came with it. The 7.4 that I put in it. With that stock motor, it still sounds really good. Right, okay, so I've heard back from you guys, and you have unanimously voted to open it up. So let's crack on with that, shall we? Change that out. How does this look? That looks fine. Apart from that one, that's a different. And loose. just going to see quickly before I do anything what the play in the gears is like. That'll do. Well, the bevel gear is pretty solid. There's a little bit of play in the spur, not the spur, the sector. No, the spur. Well, they've got some weird heads on them, and oh, I can't push up on that side. The sector gear seems, well, they all seem rock solid, which means they're either shimmed really well or really badly. So let's have a look. Screws. These are going to go in here. So I'm just moving the different screws about different parts of the toolbox so I know which screws are from where. So all the gearbox screws are going to come out and go in where the big screwdriver sits. So if any of you are just joining, I was just saying that so far I'm pretty impressed with the quality of this gun for the price I bought it for. I mean, it's a little bit more than a G&G Raider, and for that you get metal body, which is a decent metal body, and you're getting what looks to be a pretty decent gearbox. I'd have to say the quality on this gearbox is better than other gearboxes I've seen, other budget gearboxes I've seen. Bear in mind that this isn't in any shape or form a expensive gun. Let's get these screws. How are there so many screws in the V2? So how's everyone's Monday been? Have you all enjoyed it? Still enjoying it? Or you got the Monday blues? I'll take that off a second. Yeah. Okay. Ooh. I keep dropping my tools. Right, that should be good to go. So again, the V2 with a quick change, well, any gearbox with a quick change spring is a godsend for tearing down, because you don't have to worry about that spring pressure. Although we don't have to worry about that. What is holding this together? Can't be you. That gear popped off. Oh, I have my tools ready and then I push them all to one side like an idiot. Where did my tweezers go? Is it this screw? I don't think it will be, but we'll take it off anyway, just in case. Nope. I don't see a warranty void sticker on this, so I'm assuming my warranty is no longer void. Excellent news. Oh, they haven't. Okay. I think they might have just slipped a bit of Loctite on the top. Oh no, it's the cylinder head. Is it? Have they Loctited the cylinder head on? Please don't tell me they've Loctited the cylinder head on. Tom, if you're still there, did you have any problems with them Loctiting the cylinder head onto the gearbox casing? Oh, that looks like Caesar salad dressing. I don't know if you saw that. Look at that. Very gloopy stuff. Right. Why aren't you coming off? Ported piston head. Not bad. Cylinder. Greased. Not bad. Cylinder head. Very tightly pushed into place. Nozzle greased. No O-ring in there. So how the hell is this getting such a good air seal? Right. Let's have a look at these gears. Oh, that's strange. Where is it? That's that one. No, it's not. Not known about. I thought I had different bearings to Tom's, because bushings. Sorry, because I remembered Tom having crosses. I thought they were on the outside. They're not. They're only on the inside. These also, as you can see, are the cross type bearings. Just for the sake of remembering where everything was, but it's probably part of the reason they weren't shifting is that gloop is so strong. Put that there. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think you can tell that that is a heat treated gear. There. Let's get some gloop on my camera. That is very much a heat treated gear. You can see the tempering differences there. It's not bad bevel gear. Oh, actually, that's a pretty big tower of anti-reversal latches, and it's only 4, which is 2 more than you get on the famous bevel gear from TM. But yeah, you will get more wind back with that than other bevel gears. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer them one by one onto this shell. Ooh. Oh no, it's just glue. I thought they'd be... Oh, sorry. Yes, Purple Helmet is here to share his infinite wisdom and see all the spicy internal goodness. Definitely heat-treated gears. I originally thought that there was some pretty bad scratching here, but a lot of it just appears to just be gloop trails, although that is a scratch. And there is scratching up here as well. I wonder if that was just them having to finish it off. That's an interesting... A lot of interesting textures going on in this gearbox. I mean, £180 gun. I'm impressed with the quality, even though internally this isn't the nicest looking. I'm pretty sure this is still going to be fairly solid, and more than happy to accept UK power limits for a while. Right, let's grab our sector gear out. That's quite a enlarged cut-off lever, not cut-off lever, tappet plate. That's quite an enlarged tappet plate lug, I guess you can call it. And that explains it, because it's just a lug that they fitted to one of the holes. Fair enough. Although I don't know if that's going to accept any kind of timing chip. But that's pretty large. That's going to be nice long open apertures. I don't know. Your nozzle will have a lot of dwell time, I guess, would be a statement. I'm just saying words now. Anyone want to jump in and tell me what I'm on about? Indeed, Ramsey. I'm still blown away by the kind of quality for cost. This is good. my only concern is this MOSFET up to scratch, and is it going to just die after 3 games? But I'm not going to find that one out until at least July. And yes, I mean that. Even if sites start saying, "Oh, we're open," I'm not going, because why would you risk it? And government guidelines kind of say don't do that sort of stuff. Right, so anyway, moving swiftly on from that, got around to reversible latch here and spring. They've used black grease on that one. Oh, we've been spoilt. We've got white and black grease. Just your standard V2 style anti-reversible latch there. Nothing to write home about there, but it will do its job. This is where makes it interesting. Tougher plate spring. Let's put that out. So, seeing as we're using an M16, a full-length M16, we want a full cylinder for it because it'll have a 509, 510mm barrel in it. Good to see they got full cylinder. Internal quality seems fine. Well greased, which is good. That's going to help with the air seal. That's probably part of the air seal reasons. Not much padding on the front of that cylinder head. Not going to lose sleep over that. Again, I'm going to be running this as a UK power limit gun, and not an insane rate of fire on it. So we're talking like maximum 10 to 15 RPS. Actually, that's getting 10 to 15 RPS max, and power limits. I'm going to aim for 330. And that's insane because that's getting no air seal at all. But that's an M95. I'm going to double check that's an M95. It feels weak. But that's no air seal there. Insane. I'll have to investigate that some more. You've had the bug you don't want. What is the bug we don't want, Tom? You got me worried now. What's the bug? And it's not. I don't think it's a customized receiver case for a customized gearbox for this ETU. So I mean, I can switch that out and either buy new trigger contacts, put them in, or maybe get a Spectre or an Ace, not a Spectre, Titan or an Aster in there, whatever the Aster, whatever they are. Although they seem to be having problems at the moment. Or the one, what's the one everyone's going on about at the moment? The T26, the Big C. The Big C. I'm confused and scared now. Right, now, what I'm here for is this MOSFET, this ETU, so let's have a look and see what's going on. Okay, so micro switch trigger, which is good. You can actually feel the brake on that. It's not the hardest wall. It's pretty linear. You just keep pulling and then you'll hear it click. You won't really feel it. And in terms of our cutoff, that's what I'm interested in. So I had a little look. There's a component here. I'm going to zoom in and show you all. Right above where it says R12, there's a little component right in there. And I'm pretty sure I've done some googling, and some investigating. I think that is a short-range distance sensor. So it's sitting there, and when our cutoff lever's there, it's in one state, and when the cutoff lever moves up, it's in another state. So it can do very coarse cycle detection. Very much. Oh, that bug. Right. Okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about software bug in the in the MOSFET. Oh dear, I'm thick. Sorry all. I apologise for being thick. Right. Anyway. So yeah, distance sensor is going to give us a yay or nay if this is present, which is quite nice. Very similar to the style of like the ASCU boards. In fact, I have part of one here. Oh god, that's filthy. Where's the other part? I won't get it, but yeah, using a micro switch. They use a micro switch here to determine cycle time. Word of warning, don't buy the V3 ASCUs. There's a whole heap of issues with them, including this one, which, in fact, I could probably show you. This is going off track. Oh no, it wasn't this half, it was the other half. But, that's got a load of crap on it as well. Long story short, don't buy the V3 ASCU, and I think a lot of people will say don't buy the V2 ASCU. They break. Anyway, that may break as well. Let's have a look at the wiring quality here. It's looking pretty good. So, power positive comes straight from the battery to the motor, alright, and then gives it positive into there. Cool. And then we are doing switching on the negative side of it. Trying to figure out why that would be the case. It's probably to do with transient spikes, maybe. By the way, I'm an electronic engineer, not an electrical engineer, so motors and spinny things aren't really my forte. I mean, I have a passable education in them for sure, but I deal with the actual components on this board as opposed to the big power boy stuff. Let's take the board out. See what's going on. Hopefully this should just not seeing any other screws. That comes around there. Does that say insert text here? I should probably use a plastic tool for this, but I don't have one to hand. There we go. Just needs a bit of leverage. Right. Oh. Oh, it is a Cyma custom board. Yeah. So they haven't bought someone else's stuff and chucked it in. They've actually designed this from the ground up. That's cool. Oh well, or they've got consultancy to do it for them. Let's have another. So this is a 2019 designed board, or I'm assuming that's a design date. It'd be weird if they silkscreen design manufacture dates into all of them. And let's have a look on this side. It just says text. Oh, can I debug this? That would be cool. So I'm just trying to look. I'm just having a look at the components, trying to figure out what's what, because I'm assuming these two chips here are probably. So yeah, these two chips here are probably our motor drivers. Makes sense. These are diodes. I'm assuming here. So I'm wondering if this does have some kind of active braking in it, and this is acting as a H bridge. Yeah, maybe a H bridge or full bridge rectifier, something like that. Help deal with the power issues. And then this is our actual controller down here on the back. Now what interests me is this. I think that is, I think that genuinely is a contact designed to pick up the conductive surface on the selector plate. But those two solder joints don't sit proud of the microcontroller. So what is going on there? I am thoroughly confused by that. And it'd be really useful if they could release a datasheet for this. So that little thing there, that little round. Oh, sorry. Let's try and get a bit better light on this. There we go. That little round. Come on, camera. Almost. So close. There we go. Right. That little round thing there is, I think, a digital distance sensor. So it either says there's something there or there isn't, and it looks at this gap here. In fact, I did research this and I did look up the correct thing and found the right thing. Let me just jog my memory and then I'll pull it up on the screen. Yeah, IR distance sensors. IR reflectance sensors. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, IR reflectance sensors, and obviously this is shiny, shiny-ish reflective enough that it can do that. And in fact, I probably, if I had half an hour to do it, I could switch out the lens on one of my cameras and put a non-IR filtered lens, power this bad boy up, and see if that light turns on in IR. Yeah, so it's a contactless sensor, which is cool because it's a nice way of doing it. It's a cheap, relatively inexpensive way of doing it, and you're not going to get any mechanical wear on it, unlike this micro switch they use for the trigger, which is obviously going to have a mechanical life on it. Which, yeah, I am liking the kind of bodginess design. Well, not bodginess, but like the fact that there's just this big cap stuck on here, which I'm assuming is going to be a power smoother. Unless they're using it as a really, really crude timer. I know tell me if you want me to move on. I'm just thinking. I just think this is weird because. Yeah, it is. It is. You can look at the tracks. You can. Those two pads definitely go to 1 and 2 pins on this chip. And in fact, I can look up this chip and see what chip they're using. That's probably going to be. If I was looking at this in full screen, that might help. Which one am I looking for? That'd be that one. Oh, now it's not accepting mouse clicks. Correct. Click there. Now it's not accepting mouse clicks. Now is not the time for you to stop accepting mouse clicks. Sorry about that. Oh, and it's just ran. Sorry. Yeah, it. You say utilitarian, I instantly think Land Rover. This very much could be the utilitarian, the Land Rover of Airsoft, a Nuvotron. I've not heard of those before. I'll have to have a look, but that's definitely the microcontroller on this board. Definitely. Oh, okay. Am I going mad? Or oh no, I'm mad. These are not designed for contacting the rear of the selector plate, unfortunately. As much as I think that'd be really cool, they're not. They are, in fact, actually 2 of the 3 legs of the micro switch. There. So micro switch has got 3, and I'm assuming it's going to be the common and the normally open and the normally connected, which means when the switch is not pressed, those 2 are connected together, and when the switch is pressed, those 2 are connected together. So when the switch clicks, these two connect and it fires a shot. Now, whether or not it has active braking, I honestly couldn't say at the moment, although I think it probably won't. The reason it will have two MOSFETs or transistors on there, in fact there might even be 4 with the number of pins on that, might be dual packaged, is to handle the load. And in fact it does say load in there. God, I'm glad they wrote the silk screen in English. That actually helps a lot with the kind of debugging and figuring out what's going on. What would be really cool is if Cyma would release a manual for this. And I'm hoping at the moment it's not a programmable FET. I'm hoping it, programmable ETU. I'm just hoping it's a stock ETU that only does one thing, and that fires until it detects a break there or the switch is released. Else, I'm going to be really annoyed if I accidentally set this into some random mode where semi-auto is like 3-round burst. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look again at some other bits and pieces. So, one of the questions Tom asked earlier was, can I measure the bevel, the bearings? So let's lift this out, have a look. God, those are small bearings. My calipers, here are my calipers. So the bearings themselves are pretty much 8mm. Just double check that against the hole. Take 3 readings, 7.9, 6. Yeah, the 8mm holes. Oh, that's got a little notch in it. Wonder if that's a design fault. If you can see that. Right there. Notchy boy. I wonder if the rest of them have it or not. Nope. And nope. Well, interesting. So yeah, Tom, if you're still there, 8mm bearings. 8mm bushings is probably what you want to go with. Probably not the cross type, as others have said. They're a bit weird. They will wobble a bit more and they'll wear down quicker. In terms of our gear ratios, so this is looking like pretty much stock ratios. It would be nice if they actually, told us the ratio on them, but hey ho. I swear somewhere someone said, oh yeah, they're 13:1s in there, but I'm not entirely sure on that. In fact, I'm pretty sure these aren't going to be 13:1s. These are actually looking fairly talky by the, well, not fairly talky, these are going to be middle of the road. You can tell the torquey the gears, or at least on the sector gear, the spur gear interaction teeth come out further. In fact, so like Team Recoils have quite high torque gears in. Their spur gear interaction teeth are the same radius as their pickup teeth for the piston. That's why you have half-rack pistons. So I'm probably going to hazard a guess, say they're like 16 or 18:1s. They seem to work perfectly fine for my brief testing of it. I'm a bit confused as to why they're going to put that plate on there now, because now that I know what the contacts on here are, that could be a potential issue. Underside of the spur, yeah, it's not the widest, it's not the narrowest, so Ramsey, you've got infinite teching wisdom. What are you thinking? 16s or 18s? Or don't I know? Also, why aren't you focusing, camera? Come on. Right here. Come on. Right. That's enough of showing you my undersides. I hope you took photos. That was my undersides. Yeah. Anyway, back to the point. 18-1 as well. There you go. He spoke. It's 18-1. I'd agree with him on that. That I think is a possible safety issue, seeing as if you short these two contacts out, you suddenly have it detecting like like the trigger has just been pressed, and your gun will randomly start firing. And seeing as when you put your gun into safe, that pad, it moves forwards, that is going to be at the point where it's most likely to contact that. Now, luckily, as I said, those aren't proud enough at the moment for it to interfere, but it is a potential issue. So I'm thinking I might try and take that brass plate or copper plate, wherever it is, off of my selector plate. And so I will warn that to anyone who's buying that. That is a potential issue, and I don't get why they're putting it on with that on there. They should just take it off. Because I haven't seen a V2 gearbox use that style of safety in a while, actually. Because I know some of them had metal contacts, and that was part of it. When it was slid forward, that broke the contacts even more. But this is now an issue. So anyway, that mini safety statement part. Let's put this back together if I can. Let's get you out of the way. Let's drop this back in around. It's interesting that they've just kind of got the power line for the ETU floating off over there. What are you supposed to start focusing? It's probably I've got the camera set in the wrong mode. Give me a mode. EOS 90D. Shooting mode. Is there a focus mode? Settings? No. Auto focus. Are you about to see some squares appear on the screen? Yeah, that'll do. Right, let's drop that back in. Let's get the screws in. While I'm in here and got this apart, anything else that you guys would particularly like to see or know about? I'm going to grab some cloth in a second because that's filthy. I don't know what it is about some springs, but they just like to shred. Not shred, but shed their coatings. Although I don't think it was this spring. Look at that. There's all sorts of gunk in there. Actually, let's take a quick look at the compression parts. All plastic teeth, apart from your final tooth. That's all good. Oh, that looks a bit wavy. That is interesting. The two runners on the side, I have. Don't know if you can see that on camera. They are. And there, that probably shows it. But they're wavy. All right. I guess that will help reduce friction a bit, maybe. Interesting choice. It certainly doesn't feel like the smoothest running thing, but I mean, it's fine. And what is that? Huh. Interesting. Is that like a... Oh, is that what that's meant to be? There's like a thin plastic disc there. Is that just meant to help hold the piston central in the cylinder? There's literally no air compression in that at all. How is this doing that much FPS on that spring? Or am I just mad? In fact, if anyone from ASG is watching or knows ASG springs, blue tip, is that an M95 or have I been lied to? Well, it's not hard for me to change the spring in this thing. I know it's going to bite me because it's just going to make the FPS go up. But let me grab some silicone grease and I'm going to get the air seal working. No air seal. Yep, literally none. In fact, that ring is not dry. It's all lubed. There is loads of lube everywhere. There's just not enough, I think. First things first, let's get some on the cylinder head. So this will be noted when I do a full review that I have gone in and greased this, but still, I'd just be kicking myself if I didn't, because I just have to do it at a later date anyway. And I also have readings from before I did it, so I kind of know what it was doing. Get some lube on the piston head, spread that around, get the O-ring nice and lubed up. Yes, I know that's got a fair amount of lube, but hopefully that'll do things. Literally none. So little air seal. Oh, it's getting better, but there's still none. So yeah, it's getting better. What I'm going to do is be cheeky. I will replace probably the other thing that one of the things that annoys me, and this gun is culpable for it, is the spring guide has bearings on, but the cylinder head most definitely does not. So what you get is one end of the spring being able to turn and the other not, and then you'll get twist in the spring and then it will jump, and it can cause issues, especially if you're using a cut spring, which I believe, Tom, you might be using a cut spring, so that's something to watch out for. That back of the piston head in there is going to get scratched up, but I mean, unless you've already replaced it, and you were saying you've cylinder and cylinder head in it, so maybe piston head as well. But yeah, this O-ring is too small, so I'm going to be cheeky and just try and stretch it a bit, which isn't really the best thing to do, but I might as well. Nothing best to do. I will, if this is still going to have dodgy air seal, so one of the things I will be looking to do at some point is replace my compression parts on this. That's getting better. Well, it's certainly pushing the cylinder head out now. In fact, if I put so greasy. If I put this all back in. Oh yeah, there we go. That's what we want. So that's actually got a good air seal now. I'm assuming if I add the nozzle in, it's not going to have it. So slightly more than full extension, and that'll do. Okay, that's. I mean, there is leaks, but that will do. That's more than adequate for what is effectively a stock gun. I've just had to do some minor tweaks to. Again, £180, people. This is not a high-end gun. This is insane for. I'm pretty impressed with that, to be honest. I mean, come on. What's the kind of retail? I'm a bit out of the loop with ARs. What's the kind of retail price for Specna's kind of mid-tier guns? So not their very bottom of the barrel, not bottom of the barrel, but baseline guns, because £180 with an hour, well, not even an hour. If I was doing this speedily, it'd be max half an hour to tear down, do that, and put it back together. I'm pretty impressed that's kind of fixed that issue. Although that's probably just caused me more issues, unless it's got some weird fluke that having no air seal got it better FPS. Right, so I'm going to start putting this back together. Let's see how easy that goes. Do any of you want to see anything before I put everything back in the gearbox and close it up? It seems to be a fairly standard gearbox, other than the fact it's got the ETU in it, and even then it looks like we can just drop in a standard trigger unit in there and do that. One of the things I have noticed is it's got the proper bridge over the motor. Bridge over the motor castle. I think that's where the castle would sit in that, which is quite nice to see. It's also got this rear wire cut out, which is quite nice to just give a bit more room to help with the wiring. It's all pushed down nice and neatly out the way. So, put that down. Overall, this gun is looking pretty good. Obviously, I can't definitively say this is a great gun yet because I haven't tested it in the field. I haven't been able to shoot it properly yet, so I have no idea what the range is like. And at the moment, the only thing that is a downside to me is, for some reason, the FPS seems to be so bloody high. And if this is in fact a M95, and it is doing 380 on that, then that's going to be a bit of an issue, because obviously that's not UK legal and that's not one dual legal. So then you're going to have to be getting them short stroked, which is extra work, because you really don't want to be using a weaker spring, because then that could add in a whole host of issues with timing and so we'll have to see what happens before I give a definitive view. But if you are looking to get one of these and you're not worried about the ability that you might need to do some tech tweaks, this is seeming to be quite a good gun. Let's get our gears back in. So yeah, at the moment, things that I would probably going to switch out at some point: compression parts, maybe, probably the cylinder head, nozzle. Oh, what am I saying? The nozzle, because there's no O-ring on it, so that's that's going to cause inconsistencies. Maybe the ETU. At the moment, I have no reason to. I think it's going to work fine, especially in this build of gun. But if issues arise, I'm going to have to do that. Oh, come on, spring, get around that. You must be able to get around that. There we go. Thank you. Get that there. There you go. Other things that I might change out. Well, I will change out at some point. The bushings. I'll just put in a new brand of bushings. Ooh, what's Tom said? It's around the same price as the old Spectre Arm series with the XASR inline MOSFET. So you're going from an inline to a in-gearbox MOSFET, which I quite like having the little micro switch on it. That's quite cool. Some people will argue the inline is a better idea. And for the most part, I would agree. You don't really need an gearbox MOSFET. That's just the kind of hype train that Airsoft's on at the moment, that everything has to be in it because reasons. A lot of the time that the builds that people are putting them in really don't need them in. In fact, this is the only gun I have at the moment that has an in-gearbox FET, and that's because it came with one. Yeah. Let's put these back in. Oh, I'm going crazy. No, I'm not. Am I? Maybe. Trying to remember how to put a bloody tape. am I doing? Like, honestly, this is basic stuff. How am I not remembering this? Part of it will be the silicon grease annoying me. Yeah, that seems reasonable. I made the rookie error of not getting paper towel ready to do this. Oh, that's the point. Tom, those Spectre Edge series, are they metal bodied or are they polymer body, like a kind of Raider? I've got a song stuck in my head, and it's annoying me. It's Oxygen, if you know it. Specifically part 4. So what I'll do is I'll close up this gearbox. I won't put all of it back together on camera, but what I will do is quickly have a look at the quality of the external body now that we've kind of got all the internals out, and see if we can see any form of major manufacturing defects. And finally the trigger. These wires tucked away first. Everything they should. What does everyone think about running wires inside the gearbox? For me, I think I prefer having everything external to the gearbox. I just worry that with wires being inside, they're just going to get munched by parts and cause issues. But it seems to be kind of the way most V2s are set up, which, I mean, if you wire them right, they'll be fine. If you don't, there might be some issues. But hey ho. Am I doing this right around? I must be doing this right around, yeah. If you're wondering why I keep second guessing myself and why you've never seen me second guess myself in other videos, that's a lie. I always second guess myself in other videos and normally put them in. But seeing as this is my first kind of tech live stream, actual teching live stream, you are actually seeing me warts and all. Admittedly, I do show you most of my warts in most of the other videos. Right, just going to put the bearings back on here. There's still plenty of lube in the gearbox. Not too much. I mean, it does look like someone did spill some Caesar salad dressing in this one, but not too much, which isn't too bad. It's definitely passable. I have a feeling that these bearings get quite tight on the gears, because there wasn't that much play, but they're all seeming to have the same shim on them. Right, what's stopping this going down? Anything stopping this? No, it's actually looking to be pretty alright. The only thing I need to do is shimmy that bad boy about. And oh, look at that, they've added a nice little hole there. But this is actually quite a nice sort out gearbox. They've put cutouts pretty much everywhere to help with reassembly. Nice open parts. That's that. Alright, what's stopping it closing? I can have a look. Have a look. Oh, that bushing's come out of its hole. Does anything else come out? Nope. So that. Probably got the gears in the wrong point. That cylinder head is very tight on that. Yes, it is. It's me being a muppet. So, if for those of you wondering why that wasn't going back on, the tappet plate lump was right next to the tappet plate. Why do you think I didn't try and put it back together again? Yeah. Be bold, be brave. So that was in the wrong place. In fact, I can probably... Yeah, I'll run these round a bit. That. Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah, that's fine. Of course, that type of plate likes to jump up and push on bits. That's cool. Just make sure that stays in place. Oh, the trigger's come off. This is always how putting guns back together goes. It takes like 18 million attempts because one thing will go wrong. And I'm stubborn and don't want to buy those stupid clamps that hold everything in place. Because, god damn it, if our forefathers could do it, then I can do it too. Don't need none of this fancy teching kit. I lie, I'm just stupid. If you've got the money, pick up those clips. They will be a godsend. And stop stupid things like this happening. If not, the other thing you can try is just silicone grease. Silicone grease fixes all. As I shall now hopefully demonstrate. This is where it's not going to work. And I'm going to look like a fool on camera. The ironic thing is, this live stream's going on for how long? Like an hour now? I use teenagers for that bit. Yeah, unfortunately I don't have an army of teenagers I can call upon. I used to when I ran a society. I don't anymore. Let's try and pop you back in. There you go. That's good. Let's get this anti-reversal latch to sit in the right place. Come on, ARL. Of course. Typical. The wires have jumped out of their tracks. In fact, that was probably me pushing the AR out, push the wires out of the tracks. Those wires aren't helping. That looks to be pretty much back together. So I'm going to put a couple of screws into that, just to speed things along. I won't put all of them in. Pro tip, don't do them all the way up and don't go around in a circle. Move move kind of around the gearbox, so I'm not going to go here, I'm going to jump up here, because these are kind of diagonal opposite corners. Put that one in loosely, and then I'm going to find another one to go in there. Yep. Put that one in up the front. I keep forgetting V2s have screws up here. Why? Let's just put some in the fins. Again, this V2 is actually very nice to work on because it doesn't have a spring in it. It's a quick change spring guide. Very, very nice. Again, Tom, you seem to be the fountain of knowledge for Spectre arms. Are they quick change spring guides, or are they just standard V2, or are they normal quick change spring guide where you have to take the gearbox out, or are they a style like this one where you can take it out the back of the stock, or are they just a standard V2? Right, let's have it together. So now the last little bit I want to talk about before I go off the air, because it's been on for ages, is the actual quality of the body. Now that we have it apart, I am actually fairly impressed. Like, it's not bad. I thought it would look a lot worse inside than it does. It's got, you can kind of see the build marks on the top. I'm assuming, Tom, you're still there. Ramsey, you still there? You guys are much more knowledgeable on metal work and metal construction than I am. I'm seeing definite seam lines in the design of this thing. In fact, so if we look at the tube, you've got to join there, and flip it over. I think we'll see some more if we look in the mag well. That's not helpful. Nope. Out wide you can see it. You've got these lines in here. What are we thinking in that? Overall I'm pretty impressed. Obviously it's not cold hammer forged aluminium or anything. This is definitely going to be like die cast. But again, for the price, we're talking £180. This is not bad. This is pretty well done. Let's just grab the upper and have a look. Seeing the same sort of finishing on the flash surfaces. Again, I'm seeing a seam line here. Am I seeing a seam line anywhere else? Not seeing anything on the top of the carry handle, but in the carry handle I'm seeing there's obviously this quite prominent line. But overall, I'm very impressed with the quality of the finish on this. Obviously, it's not it's not AR, like real AR quality, but of all the kind of airsoft ARs I've handled, other than the TM recoil, I can't think of another metal-bodied AR that I'm actually think is as good as this. Maybe also the VFC 417, that had pretty good body on it. But yeah, okay. Does anyone have any last minute questions? If not, I'm going to log off because I'm meant to make dinner in a minute. So shoot away if you've got questions. If not, I will end the live stream here and put this back together in a bit. But overall, pretty happy with the internals. For the price I paid, I wasn't expecting perfect internals. For the most part, it's pretty good. Bearings may be changed out. Compression parts possibly could do with a change out at some point. The only negatives from me is the no bearings on the front of of the spring, so no bearings on the cylinder, piston head, but bearings on the spring guide. Those are the only bits that kind of annoy me. So yeah, I'll give you just a minute or two, and you can all enjoy me screwing in my gearbox. But yeah, ironic for me, this is an hour and a half stream, and I'll probably end up cutting this down to a 5-minute video, maybe? Oh, I didn't check the AoE on it. Well, that'll be done at a later date. Doesn't particularly matter, it seems to work fine. So if there are no questions, which it's not looking like there are, I will probably sign off in the next 30 seconds. Until then, until then, you can just watch me do these last couple of screws up. Right, okay. What are we going? We go 3 and... So, I hope you have enjoyed that. I hope this is useful somewhat. Hopefully I can go through and put markers of the key bits that people are interested in, or cut it down into a short video. So, thank you all for coming along. If any of you did, I know at least 2 people did, because I had at least 2 separate commenters. And until next time, I will see you all soon. Adios.